Smash the like button and destroy the subscribe button, and you will join our family.
What is the worst pain you ever felt? Serious. Abscess tooth. Infection and swelling spread up to my eye. I literally wept with relief when they injected painkiller prior to starting the root canal. Been there, buddy. I've had an abscess tooth once. It was horrible. I'm not entirely sure what it was exactly, but I had a pimple on the back of my shoulder that ended up growing to about the size of a quarter. My dad had to help me continuously drain it for a week and it hurt like hell. To make matters worse, we didn't notice it until we left for a cruise, so I couldn't really get medical help. I couldn't move my shoulder the entire trip. When we got home, it ended up becoming a full-on inch-deep hole in my shoulder that we had to clean out every day. Super uncomfortable and painful. We suspect it was a brown recluse spider bite. From your description, it sounds like you had a boil. They get that big, and I think they usually have a nasty core that eventually pops out. I know where I grew up. You would heat up a glass bottle, lance the boil and stick the mouth of the bottle over the boil. As the bottle cooled off, the air inside would contract and create suction Boyle's law. No pun intended, and would suck the speed out of the boil. Yeah. Pretty gross. I knew a guy who got one on his lip. I felt so bad for that dude. I sliced my finger open by accident with an X-Acto knife, and it was fairly deep. I clamped a paper towel on it and drove myself to urgent care. Now, the cut itself wasn't painful, too deep to feel much. But the doctor said that it was only going to be 2, maybe 3 stitches, so there was no point in a local anesthetic. Well, after those 2 stitches, any hope that I was a manly, stoic Ron Swanson type went out the window. I kept it together, but a few more stitches and I'd have been crying. Physical pain would be either the time that my knee completely popped out of its socket while I was standing still, or the time that I got into a fight with an emotionally challenged kid in 4th grade and he stabbed a mechanical pencil straight through my hand. Emotional pain, when I lost my granddad. It was the first family member that I'd lost, and I will never forget that complete and utter agonizing pain of losing someone that you love. I was 10. Three years ago, there was an accident at my workplace. A pressured pipe fractured and splashed saturated sodium hydroxide caustic soda solution into my face with enough force to remove the protective goggles. I had chemical burns on the side of my face. A large part of my hair came off. Luckily it grew back, and my right eye had burns as well. Hopefully nothing permanent, since I managed to administer first aid myself on the spot before having someone drive me to the hospital. Physical. Birthing a 10 pounds 6 ounces baby. I was positive my body was splitting in half. Took 11 stitches to put things back together. Emotional. Toss-up between my mom dying and my husband of 20 years leaving our home and our kids to be with his secretary he'd known for 3 weeks and fell madly in love with. The pain of being thrown away like that is devastating. I have herpes and had a really deep vaginal outbreak, but I didn't know it was there because I couldn't feel the blisters, but I got really bad cramps, like mad me dizzy. They hurt so bad and my body was letting out a lot of almost black discharge. When I went to the gynecologist, everything was too swollen to get the one metal tool up there, so she used her fingers to try to hold me open and put cotton swabs up there to treat the wounds. 0/10 horrible experience. Take your meds, kids. A peach-sized abscess on my lower inside butt cheek. Sweet cheeks. I had brain surgery, and about 3 days from being home from the hospital, I felt spinal fluid leaking through the surgery site on my head. After rushing to the ER, the doctors assessed that they needed to re-stitch over the stitches on my head. There was no time for any sort of anesthesia, so I essentially had my head stitched back together while I was conscious. It was excruciating. Eye injury. If I had to best describe it, it's like someone just lit your eye on fire, and each time something touches it, Even a tear. It feels like someone just threw a whole tank of gasoline into that fire. Oh yeah, and you feel it almost 24/7 unless you use painkillers. But even those hurt to put on. Heartache from losing a child. My wife is not a lightweight when it comes to pain tolerance. Broke her ankle in the morning and attended a work meeting early afternoon. Early this year she had kidney stone surgery. A couple days later she slept long enough for the pain meds to wear off. She was doubled over on floor screaming and begging me to kill her. That will stay with me for the rest of my life. Endometriosis. I think period cramps are YAI2 normalist. It took me years to figure out that there was obviously something wrong with me and 5 more to convince doctors of the same. I remember having a contraction once while lying in bed. And the pain radiated all the way up my back. It was so bad my muscles locked up and I couldn't breathe. I just lay there gasping like a fish and thinking, this is it. I'm going to die. The knowledge it was coming every month just made it so much worse. I was terrified of my period for years. Now I'm finally on meds that make the pain bearable but still horrible at the exchange of throwing up for 2 days straight instead. Having a uterus is fun. I had a large benign, fortunately tumor near one of my ovaries. When they took it out it weighed 10.5 liters. When it was growing at night it was horrible pain in my stomach, think I'd sell one of my legs to get rid of it pain. I could only sleep on the side the tumor wasn't growing. The worst that to be traveling. A few times a week it felt like an alien was trying to escape from my stomach on the train to work. Pepper spray. Oleoresin capsicum spray. I got sprayed. And it was a lot of it. Like a hose down upon the face. Or washing my face with pepper spray. Wasn't sprayed by a woman. Sprayed for training reasons. My superiors didn't let me wash the crap off and instead we walked around for hours with the crap on. I remember it was like eating super spicy food. But with your eyeballs. Some of the crap got near my mouth and nose. And it suffocated me a bit. So. Intense pain. Small panic attacks because of difficulty breathing. And I couldn't really see. Oh, then that crap started crystallizing on my face. That was fun. If you mean physical pain, I would say having peritonitis as a result of my appendix bursting when I was a little kid. Emotional pain, I would say, is the times I have had loved ones die of terminal illnesses. That to me is the most helpless feeling in the world. You know they're going to die and there is nothing you can do about it. The only comfort you feel is when it's over because you know their pain has ended. Had cervical cancer. Doc opted for LEAP procedure, which involved electricity to burn off the bits. First goes the numbing shots, which hurt like a bitch. But the catch is my body burns through it fast. Halfway through I felt everything. The doc is like, let me numb you again. I said no, keep going. Longest 10 minutes in my life. A nurse held my hand as I cried. I tried not to yell. But when she was done the pain did stop. I was sore but the pain was done. I accidentally had my vasectomy done without anesthesia. I have a high tolerance to lidocaine and other local anesthetics. My speep bag of a doctor wouldn't listen to me when I said I wasn't numb yet. The initial cut hurt really bad but wasn't unbearable. However, the next cut was some type of holy hell. It felt like an NFL punter had just punted my balls. I almost immediately passed out from the pain. I woke up to him working on the other side, which promptly caused me to pass out again due to the pain. Woke up a second time and found myself lying on the table covered in my own piss. Had to towel off best I could and then took an Uber home. I can't even begin to describe how horrific this pain was. 0/10 would not repeat. Waking up from hysterectomy surgery. I got appendicitis, a condition in which the appendix becomes inflamed and filled with pus, causing pain. I thought it was a regular tummy ache and went to school. A few hours later, the pain starts intensifying. It reached to a point where I couldn't even sit up straight. I became sick and unable to move. Some of my classmates informed the teacher and my parents came to pick me up and went to the hospital. Thankfully, after the scan, they said that I was lucky it didn't burst yet and immediately took me in for a keyhole surgery. I broke my arm at 6 or 7. I couldn't walk to urgent care cause I thought my arm was gonna fall off from the bone. Also they pulled out something that was keeping my arm together. That got pulled out while I was completely awake.